Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be something, one, that I never thought I would ever be filming, and two, I definitely haven't done a video like this before on my channel. So basically today I'm going to be talking a little bit about mental health and my experience having low mental health. And I just want to say, just as I started to film this video, there are grass cutters outside, so can you hear that? Can you hear that? Perfect timing, honestly. I have just sat down so many times to do this video and got really anxious and not wanting to do it, and today I feel up to doing it, so I don't want anything to stop me doing it. Even grass cutters. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know much about mental health until the end of last year, when I started to get like quite low and people were noticing it, like my family and friends. I was like crying all the time, I was sleeping all the time, which at the time I would blame on like my anemia and my iron being low, but it wasn't actually low, it was my mental health. I wasn't eating because I was sleeping all the time. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. Stopped doing YouTube. I just didn't have any interest in doing anything that I liked. I would cancel plans on friends, and yeah, this all started at the end of last year. I would probably say September time, I would say it started. I basically didn't do anything about it until March this year. So from say like September to March, it was like a snowball effect, and I basically crashed. Yeah, I just feel like I hit a brick wall, and in March I eventually went to see someone, which I should have done when I started to feel that way. I'm really sorry if this video's like all over the place, and I can feel myself getting fidgety. I don't even know like how to do these videos. Basically, I just want to share my experience with mental health and just give some advice if I can, because I know what it's like to feel really, really low and to feel alone, and dealing with your own brain is hard. Like, it's really hard, like fighting a battle with one of your own organs. Like, it's difficult and it's really frustrating actually. So when it all started in September, kind of round about that time, so like in the summer-ish, I ended a long-term relationship, which was not the best relationship, and I hope if that person's watching this, I don't know if he will be, I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. I mean, I think we both and everyone else around us knew it wasn't a great relationship. So yeah, I ended let's just say toxic, because let's be serious, it kind of was. So I ended a toxic relationship, so that kind of messed with my head a little bit. And then in like autumn time, was it, I had a new relationship, and during the autumn time also my house got broken into, so that messed with my head as well. And I actually ended the new relationship. That was probably the shortest relationship of my life, but I definitely jumped in far too quick, and it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. And also, relationships are really, really difficult when you feel low yourself, and I 100% agree. If you don't love yourself, then you can't love someone else. Like, how can someone else love you if you don't love yourself, if you know what I mean? I'm trying to cut this quite short just to kind of give a gist of how I was feeling, what was happening during the time that I felt low. I was not in the right headspace for a relationship at all. I needed to focus on myself 100%. So I thought when I ended that relationship, no disrespect to this guy at all, but I thought that would help me. No, it didn't. I started to just do the usual, sleep all the time, disinterested and stuff like that. And because it was a Christmas and festive period, I just drank my sorrows in alcohol, which everyone knows alcohol is a depressant, so I was not helping myself at all. Yeah, over the festive period I just hammered it with the drink, and I was kind of laughing it off and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm drinking again tonight, going out with my friends, blah blah blah. Deep down I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew that I was only drinking to forget how I was actually feeling. And then January came. Everyone's got January blues anyway, so I was kind of blaming my low mood on January blues. Every time someone asked if I was okay, I would cry. I felt like when I was leaving my house, because I live on my own, no one really can see me, so I felt like when I was leaving my house I was literally putting a mask on and covering up how I actually felt, which, let me tell you, putting a mask on and like putting a smile on your face and everything, that is exhausting, especially if I was going out to do like 14-hour shifts at the care home. That is exhausting, putting a mask on and pretending you're okay and being happy and jolly and singing and blah blah blah. Like, that is exhausting, doing that for 14 hours, let me tell you. So like sometimes I would just break down at my work for no reason. I would just randomly break down and cry, go to the toilet, cry my eyes out. Like I said, if someone asked if I was okay, I would cry my eyes out. Or if I wasn't crying that day, I would just be like, yeah, I'm fine, it's just like stuff I've got going on. I would just make up stuff like, oh yeah, I'm just worried about bills, or you know, like my bills would totally be fine, but I would just make up an excuse, because then people would be like, oh, like you'll be fine, like if you need any help, like you know where to come to and stuff like that. Like I would just make up excuses so people would be like, oh, that's why you're sad, okay, that's normal, that's fine, instead of me turning around being like, yeah, I felt like for months. I just can't get this feeling away for months. Looking back, I just feel like literally I had a dark cloud over my head, like, and everything is kind of like blurry, and it was just a horrible time. I'm sorry if any of my family are watching this, or my friends that care about me, because I know this isn't the greatest thing to say, but I am more open to talking about it now. At the time I definitely wasn't. And I just, like I said, I just want to say my experience, so maybe people get a little bit of help, and you know, they go and get help, because it can get really bad and you need to speak to someone about it, because bottling it up does not help. So anyway, there would be times where I'd be sitting in my house and I'd be thinking, I've got alcohol in my fridge, I've got pills in my drawers, like tempted to do something stupid. Obviously I didn't. You can have suicidal thoughts and not want to die, and you can have suicidal thoughts and want to die. Like, it's weird, but it kind of makes sense too when you've been through it. So anyway, that is an example. And also I'd be like driving places, whether it was to a client's house or whether it was to like Aldi, going for a food shop, and there'd be like thoughts in my head to crash my car into a tree, and then it would just end. Everything would just end. I wouldn't feel like this anymore. Like, that happened a few times, and I just feel like having these thoughts, at first it was like having them randomly, and just like every now and then it was just like, oh whatever, they're just silly thoughts, like they're gonna go away. And then it was like all the time. And at work I would cry. Like, I would start my 7:30 shift, by 20 to 8 I'd be crying my eyes out for no, like, not for no reason. Obviously there was a reason. I had a low mood, but like my close friends at work were like, you need to go and see someone, and my boss at work was like, no, like tomorrow you're going to the doctors, like you need to go to the doctors. And I knew myself, but I just didn't even know what to say. Like, how do you even say to someone, oh, like I've got a low mood? Because I overthink, which is part of it too. I overthink, and I just thought, they're literally going to be like, you're 21 years old, what have you got to be sad about? There's other people out there that have it worse than you, seriously. And yeah, I really didn't want to phone, but the fact that my boss was telling me to phone, everyone around me knew that something was wrong. So I phoned the doctors, and I just didn't even know what to say. I'm sure I said something like, see, I can't even remember because I was crying hysterically, but I was like, I don't even know what to say, like I just need someone to help me, like I'm crying all the time at work, like I feel so sad all the time, I just want to cry, I'm not eating, I'm sleeping all the time, like I feel like literally I'm wasting my days. So basically they gave me an appointment that day. I went in, she spoke to me, she done us like a depression quiz on me, which, seeing the word depression and people telling me, Jamie, you probably have depression, Jamie, you've got depression, Jamie, it sounds like you're depressed. You're depressed. Every time, excuse me, every time I heard, sorry, my throat is went really weird all of a sudden. Every time someone said the word depression to me, I would cry. I felt like it was because it was a realisation almost, and I knew deep down, I had an incline that it would be that, but I didn't obviously want to say that it was because I wanted to go to the doctors first of all, and yeah, I like read up on it and stuff like that, and I was like, it sounds like it, but I just want to go to the doctors and take everyone's advice and see what they're saying. She done the depression quiz on me and asked me questions like questions like, how often do you skip meals? Have you had suicidal thoughts in the last 2 weeks? What else was there? Like, do you hate yourself? Do you want to hurt yourself? Just questions like that. But basically, it came back that there's a high depression, low depression, it was like medium or something like that, and she was like, look, would you benefit from going to see a mental health nurse? And I was like, yes, like I am going to take any help I can get here, like still in tears in the doctors. I think I must have cried my body weight in tears. So then she gave me an appointment the next day. Now, funny story about the next day. With depression, one of the symptoms is confusion and being forgetful. Now, my memory is like a fish anyway. I would just blame stuff that I would be forgetting on my usual self. However, I got told that obviously with depression you can get confused, which kind of made a lot more sense because on the next day when I had my appointment with the mental health nurse, I went into work thinking I started at 7:30. Now I got there and they were like, Jamie, you start at 2:30. And I was like, no, I start at 7:30. Like, I've never been late or early or, you know, got my shifts mixed up before. Like, I start at 7:30. What are you talking about? And they were like, no, seriously, like, look at the rota, your back shift. Then I was like, ah, crying again, like, I'm even forgetting my shifts now, what the hell. But it actually worked out better because then I didn't have to like leave work to go to the doctors. Oh, I forgot to mention actually, before I went to the actual doctors, it was a phone call that I was having, and she phoned me, sorry, I've completely messed this up now. She phoned me and she was like, basically, hi, I'm the mental health nurse, how can I help you? Burst out crying, basically told her what I told the first doctor, and she was like, you need to come to the doctors now. And I was like, wait, what? I thought this was a phone call. And she was like, no, you need to come to the doctors like right now. What are you doing? Can you get here like ASAP? And I was like, well, yeah, of course, like I can come now. And she was like, great, like come now, I need to speak to you right now and see you face to face. And I was like, oh my god, okay. So headed down to the doctors, saw her again. She was like just talking me through stuff, what I'm feeling like, what I'm doing in day-to-day life, and like what I work as, you know, living on my own, family and stuff like that, relationships. And she was like, I've spoke to say 6 people on the phone this morning, like she did with me, and I've told them all to like do therapy, blah blah blah. She was like, you are clinically depressed. And I was like, oh, of course, started crying, who would have thought. And yeah, she gave me like a leaflet. I actually think I have the leaflet. Wait till I tell you. Okay, I found it. She gave me this leaflet and she literally went, and that's when I cried. She said to me, these are like what you might be feeling. Tearful, check. Unable to cry, well, I was crying all the time, so that didn't really matter. Lonely, yeah. Sad, guilty, numb, and despair, yes. Irritable, yes, because I felt like I was annoying everyone by crying especially. And unmotivated, yes. I was like, girl, I feel all of them apart from one, which was unable to cry, because I'm crying like a mother here. And it said, what you might notice happening to your body. It might be hard to concentrate. I couldn't even read a book. I couldn't even watch an episode of something on the TV. I would literally sit in silence on my own. Like I couldn't concentrate. You might be forgetful. Dory over here. Your appetite might increase or decrease. Well, mine decreased. You might find it hard to get enough sleep. Well, that wasn't me because I was sleeping all the time. You might find that you're sleeping much more than usual. That's me. You might find that you don't have much energy. There's like loads of other stuff in here that I like read, and I'm sure you can get this online, so I will try and link some stuff like down below if you want to like read up on depression and stuff like that. So she said to me that, you know, do you think there's something that would make you depressed? Like, is your family, like, is your mum and dad being depressed? Like, just like, basically, do you think there's a reason? And I was like, no, I don't think there's a reason. If people looked at me, they would think I have a good life. Like, you know, I've got 2 jobs, I've got my own car, I've got my own flat. I have an alright life, I'd like to think. And I said, this is also making me sad because I know people have it all, like, so much worse than me, like, a million times worse than me. Not saying that I have the greatest life ever, because I don't, but I'm happy, like, and content. Like, everything could be better, but I know so many people have it worse, and that's what was making me sad and guilty for feeling that way. And she was like, don't be so silly, like, everyone's depressed, like, in different ways, and there's different reasons. And then she said that you can have depression from a chemical imbalance, like sororitin, I don't think I'm saying that right, but you just might not have enough of it. She was like, there doesn't need to be a reason sometimes. So I was like, oh my god, a little bit of weight is off my shoulders, thank goodness. So she basically gave me sertraline, 50 milligrams to try out for a month. Now that is an antidepressant, and I'm sure it also helps with anxiety. She also offered me a 2-week sick line. Now I spoke to my boss and I said, I don't really want to take the full 2 weeks because I'm scared in case, like, I'll be on my own, and I'm scared in case it won't help me being on my own for 2 whole weeks. So she kindly gave me 8 days off. So I'm glad I took the 8 days, because the first like week of being on those tablets I just felt so sluggish, and that tends to happen. You feel worse before you get better. So anyway, during the whole month of March, don't know where the March went, because I was just like in a bloody daze, and I was counting the days until these tablets kicked in. So after the month I had another review on the tablets, and I was counting the days, like, why am I not feeling better? Why am I not feeling better? I'm still crying, I still feel sad, like, what the hell is going on? These are supposed to make me feel better. And I honestly thought I was expecting some sort of miracle. So I spoke to the doctors at the end of the month, and I basically was like, I don't really feel any better. I feel like I'm still sad. I feel like the tiniest bit better, if anything, but I still feel sad. So they doubled my dose to 100 milligrams, and I started taking them. And maybe like 2 or 3 weeks into them, so after every time you get another dose, you get like a review in like 4 weeks time. So 3 weeks into them, no, was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks into them I started feeling better. However, stupid me, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've been out a lot lately, and in the months of April, May, yeah, April and May, I was on the 100 milligrams. So they were supposed to make me feel better, right? Antidepressants going into my system, helping me out, great. However, during April and May, I was going out a lot, like drinking a lot. Now alcohol, like I said, is a depressant, and alcohol and drugs do not help your depression. They don't. I wish someone bloody drilled that into my head, although I already knew that. I was taking alcohol to forget how I was feeling and to feel numb and to forget just everything going on around me, and I just wanted to forget about just feeling sad. I didn't want to feel sad anymore. So every weekend I would drink, I would go crazy, I would have fun at the time, and then the hangover, oh my god, the come down I would get was horrible, horrible. I've just realised I missed out the part where I went to go and see another mental health nurse. I went to go and see another mental health nurse in May, end of April, May I'm sure, and she basically was digging for, in my opinion, a reason for me feeling this way, and she basically blamed on my relationship, my long-term relationship that was toxic, and I was like, that is not the case. That isn't why I'm feeling this way, and if it was, I would admit it. But that is not the reason why I'm feeling this way. But she was persistent on that was the reason why I felt this way, and it was almost as if she was like, great, I found a reason. This is why you're feeling sad, Jamie, because of your relationship a year ago. I was like, seriously, you're not listening to me. So I never went back. But I feel better speaking to like my mum and my closest friends. Like, they really do help, which is why if you do feel low, speak to your closest friends, speak to your family. They're not going to want you to feel sad and low, and like, if it makes you feel better speaking to them, trust me, they will listen. Because even though I'm going through this depression, I would always listen to someone, because I know how it feels when you feel alone and you feel like you can't speak to anyone. Like, it's horrible. So like, anytime, you know, my friends, you know, I think something's up with them, I'm like, talk to me, I will sit here, I will be Mother Teresa, even though I'm not feeling the greatest, we'll leave that aside, talk to me, because it's not good bottling things up or doing the snowball effect like I did, because you will crash eventually, believe you me. I was on the phone to the doctors just recently, actually, like maybe 2 weeks ago, no, 2 weeks ago, and I was speaking to them about it, and I just said I'm feeling like crap, because I have been, I don't want to lie, I have still been feeling a little bit crap, and they've put me up to 150, so I've been taking the 150 for the past 2 weeks, because I didn't want to go to the highest. I said to them, I really don't want to go to the highest, because I'm scared in case I just like get attached to them almost and can't live without them. So she said, that's fine, I can give you the 100 and the 50 and see how you get on. So they have been working good. I do feel a difference looking back to March, because sometimes I'm like, nah, there's no difference, and then when I look back to March, when I started the tablets, there is a massive difference. Lately, again, like, I was going out April, May, and obviously the start of June. Like, even in my last video I uploaded, I showed like a little bag and was like, gotta put a hip flask in. Like, I was going out so much, and actually, like, recently I went out, was it last, I can't remember, it was a Saturday night I went out, drank far too much, again, to mask how I'm feeling. Good at the time, not good the next day, and I felt horrible. I actually phoned in sick from my work, like, the next day, and yeah, like, people will probably be like, oh, she was hungover, but it wasn't actually a hangover, because drinking on these tablets, like, it's weird, it doesn't give me a hangover, which is why I'd be like, oh, I can go out again, or, you know, like, I'm not getting hangovers, so like, I can do it again the next day. Like, no, that is not okay to do. So I phoned in sick from my work, because on that Sunday and even Saturday night when I was still drunk, I don't want to go too much into detail, of course, but I really did not feel good. Like, I was so low. I did have a suicidal thought or two, and this is just recently. Like, it's just, I think I came to a conclusion, well, not a conclusion, because I knew it all along, but that was like a realization, like, Jamie, you're not helping yourself. Like, alcohol is not helping you get better. Like, you're trying to put an antidepressant into your system, but you're like drinking gallons of like a depressant. this ain't good. So I've said to myself that I am going to not drink for a very long time. My birthday's next month. Yeah, I might have like a cocktail or two. Depends how I'm feeling, might go for the mocktails, but I've came to the realisation that I shouldn't be drinking when I'm feeling this way, and I shouldn't be drinking to mask how I'm feeling. I need to get myself better by taking the tablets and doing things to make myself feel better. One thing that has like helped me so much, they obviously say do things that make you happy to help with your depression and stuff like that, and I have been going to the gym a lot. When I feel low, I'll go to the gym and I will feel sometimes so much better after it, sometimes just a little bit, but I definitely come out of the gym feeling better rather than worse. And the gym's actually been proven to help with like mental health, so I would definitely say like get yourself a gym membership, work out, or even if you don't want to go to the gym and you're a bit too anxious to go to the gym and stuff like that, do home workouts. Like go on YouTube and look up home workouts, because seriously, working out, it produces something in your brain, and I can't remember what it is, but it really does help with your mental health. The gym has been like my best friend, and obviously it's a bonus when your body starts to look better too. So yeah, I started going obviously to feel better mentally. It's made me better physically too, so that's always a good thing. I really do think mental health needs to be spoke about more. It kind of still is taboo, as much as, you know, people are speaking about it a little bit more. I really do feel like it's not at the same time. I like to speak about it quite a lot on my Instagram stories, like put quotes and things like that up, just because it helps me, and I've had a lot of people, you know, talk to me about it on social media and things, and like I said, it's good to talk about it, it really is. So I want to include some helplines, because if you feel like you can't talk to like your family and friends, and you're still a little bit scared to phone the doctors, which I understand it can be, but you really need to take like that leap, and you will feel so much better once you've spoke to someone about it. I've just googled mental health helplines, and like a lot of pages have came up. I'm also going to put some on the screen. A lot have came up, and like these people are trained to, you know, deal with these kind of situations and feelings and stuff like that. So like I said, if you feel like you can't talk to your family and friends, definitely you know, give that number a call. It's there for a reason. And also there's a lot of mental health charities, which I will put on the screen again, where you can donate money to, which I think is amazing, because you don't realise how many people go through a mental illness until you like look up on it and stuff. 1 in 3 people now will go through having a mental illness like at some point in their life, which is really sad, but that's another reason why I want to do this video. It needs to be spoken about more, and I just wanted to give my experience on how I've dealt with mental health. I can definitely see an improvement in my mental health, like 100%. Compared to how I used to be. I know I've went on about how I used to be and stuff like that, but little things like I couldn't even be bothered washing my hair sometimes, which is disgusting. And I'm like really into like makeup and beauty and stuff like that, so that is not like me at all, but I just couldn't be bothered washing my hair. I'd be sitting in my living room sometimes, like just doing nothing, just sitting about or crying or something, and I couldn't even be bothered going to the toilet. Not that I would sit and pee myself, I'm not saying that at all, but like I couldn't even be bothered going to the toilet sometimes. Like it was bad. I wasn't cleaning and stuff like that either, which is gross, but I wasn't cleaning, and I love cleaning. I'm a weirdo, I love it. I had no motivation to clean. You should have seen some of the piles of dishes by my sink. It was gross. I just felt like literally no motivation to do anything. Whereas now obviously I'm washing my hair, going to the toilet when I need to. I do feel better. However, I'm not where I want to be, but I will get there. I will get there. Now that I'm starting to feel better, I feel like this is a good time to start getting into the swing of YouTube again. So I think that is everything I wanted to say in this video. I think if you have any questions, or if you just literally want to speak to me, like, I am not a bitch. I'd like to think no one thinks in the comments or any of my social medias, like, I will reply, I will listen, like, I will talk to people. Like, I don't want anyone to suffer, because it's horrible suffering when you feel not yourself and feel low, and yeah, it's not nice. You shouldn't need to do it alone. I've never went through this before until obviously this situation. I didn't know much about it. Don't get me wrong, I'm still learning about it. It's a strange thing, let me tell you. You shouldn't be ashamed either. Like, your brain's an organ. You've got lots of organs in your body, obviously, and this organ can get unwell too. So it's not something to be ashamed of. Everyone, you know, goes on about their physical health and looking after their physical health, and I do think sometimes people forget to look after their mental health too. Like, that's just as important. So I think I'm going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different, but I felt like I needed to do this video, not just, you know, to help other people and things like that, but like for myself too. I feel like a weight will be lifted off my shoulder once I've uploaded this, because as much as I think people probably know I'm going through mental health, like with my Instagram stories and stuff, this will be like, yeah, I have depression. It's not something to be ashamed of, and I'm dealing with it, and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to get better. And by the way, I just want to say I'm really chuffed with myself for not crying in this video. I honestly thought I was going to cry, but I didn't. Whoop, whoop. So yes, I'm definitely going to end it now instead of talking and talking and talking. I'm sure I've said everything I've needed to say. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, comment down below if you would like to, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!